The military parade in Beijing is a striking showcase of the Chinese Communist Party's power, with soldiers marching in perfect unison, slogans echoing loudly, and tanks and missiles lined up in formation. While it may appear to be a display of national strength, it is, in fact, a demonstration of control. This grand spectacle aims to send a message of authority to the public, all while concealing the deeper issues of economic slowdown and rising social unrest. During the parade rehearsal, videos posted by the public show what appears to be a convoy of tanks, camouflaged and sealed off, driving through Beijing's Chang'an Avenue at night near Tiananmen Square, which is the focal point of the parade. The vehicles in the footage are covered with blue metal frames and canvas, leaving only small windows at the front and back, completely hiding the wheels and details of the vehicles. Some of the vehicles are marked as road inspection vehicles. These mysterious vehicles are likely part of the new equipment prepared for the parade. Another video shows the Tiananmen and Chang'an Avenue area in downtown Beijing being blocked off. A large number of military vehicles and tanks are seen driving through the city's wide boulevards, with jets and helicopters flying overhead in formation. On the morning of August 17th, footage showing numerous armored vehicles on the streets of Beijing was shared on social media. It is believed that these vehicles were part of the parade rehearsal in the capital. The rehearsal ran from 5:30 p.m. on August 16 until 3:30 a.m. on August 17, involving 40,000 participants and lasting for 10 hours. According to maps on Gaode, major roads such as Chang'an Avenue, Jingshan Front Street, and Dongdan North Street were all blocked off, with road closures attributed to the 2025 Beijing special event. In the Wangfujing area, a restricted zone in Beijing, guards were stationed, and local residents had to present their identification to enter or exit. Some social media users shared experiences of their hotels being fully guarded by police, with strict measures preventing anyone from leaving or even registering. Other users mentioned that their residential areas were sealed off, and they couldn't order takeout. Some subtly referenced these actions as being related to the parade rehearsal. Beijing has entered a highly sensitive period, with the political atmosphere growing increasingly tense. Shops around Tiananmen Square have been forced to close, and large numbers of armed police and military personnel have been deployed to patrol the area. Videos shared online show rows of CCP armed police officers, all shaved and dressed in black, marching toward designated areas. To prepare for the September 3rd parade, underground pedestrian passages near Tiananmen Square are being reinforced with support beams. Beijing's extensive lockdown measures are creating a tense atmosphere across the city. The number of participants and specific weapons for the upcoming parade have not yet been disclosed. However, Reuters has reported that the September 3rd parade will last for 70 minutes, with 45 parade units participating. The parade serves as an opportunity for the CCP to display its military strength and readiness. It will offer some insight into the party's capabilities and intentions regarding Taiwan. As the September 3rd parade approaches, security measures on the Beijing subway system have been heightened, with a heavy presence of security personnel around Tiananmen Square. The city now feels like a prison, with nearly every few steps marked by guards. On August 25th, social media users reported seeing large numbers of soldiers on Line 10 of the subway, most of them sitting motionless and expressionless. Some viewers commented that the display was more frightening than impressive, with comparisons to robot-like party soldiers. Others expressed concerns about the increasing materialization of the country. On the same day, videos also showed police dogs stationed at subway entrances assisting security personnel in carrying out safety checks to handle any potential threats. The spectacle of Beijing's public transport system ahead of the parade has sparked further attention. One social media user questioned, who exactly is the CCP trying to defend against, with all these security measures for a military parade? Another remarked on the CCP's extreme measures to control the public, describing it as an unprecedented level of defense against the people, signaling the looming end of the Red Era, a term often used to refer to the period of Communist Party rule in China. Traffic control measures led to significant congestion on several streets, leaving many people stuck at the edges of the lockdown areas until the rehearsal ended and the restrictions were lifted. The military parade will be Beijing's second international victory parade, held under the pretext of commemorating the end of World War II. It will showcase the CCP's military capabilities and attempt to expand its global influence. To stage this political display, the daily lives of the public have been severely disrupted, leading to widespread public discontent. Under strict government control, the public has found the most absurd ways to express their resistance. Some have written anti-CCP slogans inside public restrooms as a means to vent their frustration. Videos circulating on overseas social media platforms show that inside public restrooms in Beijing, people posted harsh criticisms of Xi Jinping's military parade, with slogans suggest the CCP should have collapsed long ago, 100 years of oppression must be overthrown, destroy it, central dictatorship running dogs, down with the dictator, and China needs democracy and rule of law. Political commentator Zhang Tianliang analyzed, these slogans are a subtle form of protest through which the public express dissatisfaction with the social situation or with the leadership. In China, there are cameras everywhere, likely averaging several per person. However, you can't place cameras in restrooms, as it's impossible to monitor people while they're using them. This method of protest, though, has the effect of deterring the CCP regime. Recently, Beijing conducted a large-scale crackdown on petitioners, detaining them in a secret black jail in the suburbs of the city or sending them back to their localities. Even more astonishing, in an effort to ensure the safety of the parade, Beijing mobilized 1 million volunteers for stability maintenance. As the parade approached, there was a sudden surge in the temporary job advertisements online. What kind of workers were being sought? Bridge guards and electricity pole watchers. These job ads stated that the work would last for 1 month, until September 4th, with daily wages ranging from 100 to 200 RMB. According to staff at the Chaoyang District's Sun Palace Subdistrict office in Beijing, this time, many people have been mobilized for the parade's stability maintenance. My daughter works in the office, and I heard that most of the retired community members have been mobilized. Around 200,000 to 300,000 people have been organized in the whole Chaoyang district, and it is estimated that more than 1 million people will be involved across Beijing. Some posts on social media mentioned that the stability maintaining personnel included retired community members, street office workers, and even low-income temporary workers, suggest the bridge guards earning 100 to 200 RMB per day. These workers have been assigned to key locations such as bridges, power poles, and streets, where they will monitor and patrol. The bridge guard position was created after the protest by Peng Lifa at Sitong Bridge in 2024. During that protest, Peng hung several banners, including "No to nucleic acid tests, yes to food," "No to lockdowns, yes to freedom," "No to lies, yes to dignity," "No to the Cultural Revolution, yes to freedom," "No to leaders, yes to elections," "No to dictatorship, yes to citizenship," and "Boycott classes, strike, remove the dictator Xi Jinping." The boldness and symbolism of the protest drew widespread attention. Since then, during every sensitive period, people have been stationed on every overpass in Beijing, fearing that another anti-CCP slogan might be hung there. It seems contradictory that a government with advanced surveillance technologies like big data and facial recognition would still rely on human personnel to monitor every bridge and power pole. This underscores the CCP's fear of its own people. Even the slightest hint of genuine dissent can feel like a threat to them. Beijing citizens have reported that along Chang'an Avenue, gas supplies to buildings have been cut off, and all communities are providing dining services or boxed meals. Residents living near the street are prohibited from opening their windows, and mutual surveillance between neighbors have been encouraged. All vehicles or knives, hammers, and other sharp objects must be registered, with particular emphasis on emptying the gas tanks of gasoline-powered vehicles. Outsiders are prohibited from staying in the city, and local police stations and neighborhood committees have been tasked with organizing round-the-clock patrols. Beijing's precautionary measures have reached an extreme level. A Beijing resident named Li commented, "Whenever the CCP holds a drill, many roads are blocked and many parks are closed. Now even pigeons are restricted from flying. It's all just to waste the people's time and money, causing chaos. There's no purpose other than boosting the morale of the CCP. It has no real significance." Beijing not only restricts flying but also imposes widespread speech restrictions. Taxi drivers are explicitly forbidden from discussing national affairs. Li, a taxi driver, revealed that his company had issued a gag order, prohibiting drivers from discussing political topics with passengers, especially issues related to national leadership and international affairs. Even praising the country's leaders is not allowed. Social media comments like "defending the people like defending thieves" and "weapons protect the regime, not the people" reflect public skepticism about the CCP's stability maintenance measures, believing that the main goal is to suppress dissent rather than commemorate history. Under China's totalitarian regime, the over-reliance on military displays to divert attention from the country's economic downturn and widespread suffering only amplifies global concerns about China's military threat. Furthermore, the CCP has long distorted, rewritten, and even erased history to protect its image. In this Beijing parade, none of the leaders from the 8 major countries, the US, the UK, France, Germany, Canada, Australia, South Korea, or Japan, will show support for the CCP. The CCP government has yet to release a full list of attendees for the parade, but the South China Morning Post previously reported that Russian President Vladimir Putin, Slovak Prime Minister Eduard Heger, and Serbian President Aleksandar Vučić are confirmed to attend. South Korean President Lee Jae-myung has confirmed that he will not attend, with the National Assembly Speaker leading the delegation instead. Other sources have indicated that while European ambassadors in China have received invitations, they might collectively abstain from attending due to Putin's participation. Potential attendees include Belarusian President Alexander Lukashenko, Indonesian President Prabowo Subianto, Malaysian Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim, and Vietnamese President Lương Cường. Russian President Putin will be the main guest at the parade, highlighting the deepening cooperation between China and Russia in their anti-Western narratives. The two countries are set to appear jointly in the 2025 Moscow Victory Day parade and have already conducted 14 joint military exercises in 2024, emphasizing their growing military and diplomatic partnership. The CCP's parade, held under the guise of commemorating the victory in the war against Japan, has drawn criticism from Taiwan. On August 15, Taiwan's Mainland Affairs Council Minister Chiu Chui-cheng stated that during the Republic of China's war against Japan, the People's Republic of China did not exist. However, the CCP has repeatedly distorted the facts in recent years, claiming that the Chinese Communist Party led the fight against Japan and using this to falsely assert Taiwan's belonging to the People's Republic of China, misleading the public and confusing the international community. For years, the CCP has shaped the history of China's resistance against Japan from 1931 to 1945 according to its own political agenda. Chinese textbooks have consistently downplayed the Nationalist Party's contributions to the war, insisting instead that the CCP was the mainstay of China's resistance against Japan. For Taiwan, Beijing's military parade is not just a commemorative event. The Taiwanese government views it as the CCP's display of military strength, a reinforcement of the One China principle, and even a subtle hint at the potential use of force to unify Taiwan. This interpretation is not without base. In recent years, mainland Chinese officials have repeatedly emphasized that the use of force to resolve the Taiwan issue remains an option, and U.S. military experts believe that the CCP could launch an invasion of Taiwan as soon as 2027. The scale and show of strength in this parade undoubtedly add to the anxiety felt by Taiwanese citizens regarding their security. Taiwanese authorities have issued rare warnings to Taiwanese entertainers working in mainland China, urging them not to support the CCP's United Front propaganda, particularly in relation to the September 3rd parade, and to uphold national sovereignty and dignity. Amid this cultural and political contest across the Taiwan Strait, a leaked confidential document from German media reveals deeper military plots by the CCP. On August 7th, Germany's Bild newspaper reported that an international hacker group called Black Moon had obtained a secret contract between China and Russia. The contract reveals that Russia is secretly assisting the CCP in preparing for an attack on Taiwan, with the plan having reached a very detailed stage. According to the leaked document, China and Russia signed the agreement as early as April 2024. Russia will develop an automated command system specifically for the CCP's airborne troops and provide a large number of heavy weapons that can be airdropped. The equipment listed in the contract is highly detailed and includes IL-7678 transport planes, BMD-4M armored vehicles, and two S-25 anti-tank guns, with a contract valued at $34.9 million. The equipment will be transported by sea to Shanghai or airlift to designated airports, suggesting it could be used for airborne or landing operations in the Taiwan Strait. Although the document's confidentiality level is high, German security officials have confirmed its authenticity to the media. This news validates the public's long-held suspicions. China and Russia, two authoritarian regimes, were forming an ACES, one stirring trouble in Asia, the other in Europe. The goal seems to be exhaust the US and Western democracies, forcing them to face two wars simultaneously. However, the growing military cooperation between China and Russia provides a background that makes the contract seem credible. Russia's resource depletion in the Ukraine war might prompt it to obtain funds through arms exports, while China requires external technological support for its airborne and amphibious operations. On the Chinese side, military expansion has been ongoing in preparation for potential military confrontation with Taiwan. The launch of the fourth 075 amphibious assault ship and sea trials for the Fujian aircraft carrier highlight China's military buildup. If the document is accurate, the China-Russia partnership could pose a direct threat to Taiwan's security and challenge U.S. strategic positioning in the Indo-Pacific region. However, Russia's military performance in Ukraine has been widely criticized, with corruption and inefficiency cited as major issues. The CCP's military is no less plagued by corruption, which raises questions about its real combat effectiveness. The military that has seen the top brass of its rocket forces removed in a single sweep and is promoted through bribery, how strong is this force really? Are CCP generals truly willing to risk everything in a highly uncertain and dangerous amphibious invasion? This is a significant question. Nevertheless, the threat posed by the CCP is real. Western leaders, including EU ambassadors, have largely declined invitations to the parade, signaling their concern over the CCP's militarism. Some European diplomats believe that a coordinated boycott of the parade by European ambassadors would send a strong message of unity and unwavering support for Ukraine to Beijing and Moscow. Taiwan's Ministry of Foreign Affairs is closely monitoring military cooperation between China and Russia, as well as developments surrounding the parade. It urges the international community to remain vigilant about China's so-called military expansion. The Japanese government has urged countries to carefully consider whether their leaders should attend the parade to avoid spreading China's version of history on the global stage. Chinese state media recently boasted about the attendance of leaders from multiple countries, high-level attendance from Southeast Asia, and China's growing influence. However, these claims were quickly mocked as an attempt to inflate its own image.